what we've been doing now as part of the Modern Day Marketing in 5G Era series, we're getting some of our tech stack which are there as part of our experience center into forums, and we're trying to show the power of those platforms with some India-specific use cases. So today's session, and you can see some setup here, which we have designed. My entire team is here, and there's a large crowd, I must say. Would you agree to that?
Absolutely. The ones on the aisles, the ones who are seated right here.
Super. But on a more serious note, there is a genuine need for marketers to start thinking solutions for consumers who are going to be moving into these super 5G highways, right? So the consumer is in 10 Mbps worth of speed right now, which is what the 4G era is all about. So if maybe 2G was about text, 3G was about images, and 4G was about videos, which lasted for the longest time. Now we are moving into 5G highways, which is going to take the speed notch ahead, which is 200 Mbps and 1000 Mbps. So once that happens, consumer will have speeds on their device. And what's the kind of stickier destination would you build for consumer on 5G highways? That's the talking point for today, and all the talking which I've been doing in 2023. This is my 6th session in that series, that when the speed takes a notch, how would marketers use creativity and technology to blend and create solutions? All the while, all what I've been doing, one thing I've been focusing on is all my conversations, I'm getting the startup ecosystem or big tech firms or marketers into the play and stitching solutions. So the audience, you've got so many people here, but there are so many people who must be online and watching it. Audience gets an absolute flavor in terms of what a marketer should be doing. And as we move towards the ID-less world, more and more advertisers are sitting on these huge data sets, like of the first-party data as we call it. And in the 5G era, when these audiences, they upgrade, you've got to create a wow experience for these audiences, right, in some form. So every large organization who is sitting on data, whether it's telecom or CPG, whoever is collecting data needs to have an XR strategy in place for modern day marketing in the 5G era. Would you agree? Few people can say yes. Oh yeah, a few people are already saying yes. See, super, see, thumbs up. Okay, great.
So thank you so much, and over to you, Niraj.
Thank you so much. And I have about 38 minutes now, and I'll be joined by some of my friends from Viacom and Kellanova. Kellogg's the new name, so I was trying to correct that. Okay, super. So a quick context on our segment today, and there's a setup which we have created. This is pretty much for the first time ever in an industry event, you'll get to see something which is super duper mind-blowing. It's coded on top of Unreal Engine. It's a platform which we have created which is totally immersive. And I'll just give you a quick story on it, that what prompted us to create something like this. So, and you'll be amazed that I'm talking about immersive technology and I'm talking about audience sets like farmers and rural India. But that's what the original thought was. To create an immersive experience which runs on thin client. When I say thin client, what it means is someone in rural India must be sitting on 2 Mbps, like a really weak internet. Can that person connect on a Zoom call and get a 3D experience? The answer is a big yes, and that's the setup you're going to see today. So with a bunch of our global partnerships, tech stack, which is WPP is being announcing a lot of these partnerships, which you must be following with NVIDIA, with Epic Games. We are getting record number of our people trained on Unreal Engine. A lot of our technology experts who coded this platform are there today trying to set up stuff. Arnav, Rama, and it should work. And I'm hoping it'll work. And it needs fabulous speeds, right? So XR, when XR meets 5G, there's magical work which you can do. And you can also do it for 1 billion Indians, I would say. Anyone who is using internet in some form can connect to this platform and get an experience which is mind-blowing, which you will get to see now. You will see my mirror image or my 3D avatar on the screen right now, loaded on top of an immersive screen, which is again multiple environments which we have coded on top of Unreal Engine, right? So in that series, I started with drone marketing as a first use case with MMA, and then we went on to create a lot of these segments. Like my last one was on MetaHuman, where I was completely wearing those Movilla gears, sensors in the body, and I had my MetaHuman created. So I was co-presenting with my MetaHuman out there. So he was right there with me on the screen, and we also created a gamification experience. In the last one, this was in partnership with Jio, we got 250 of our clients in a conference setup like this to wear a headgear and enter an experience. And why was that needed? Because if you were to use solutions on 5G, the maximum barriers which you see is the device set, the headgears, which are like insanely priced. With Jio, it was being brought down to about $12. So now, with a $12 headgear, with 5G speeds and with air fibers, you can beef up and 5G-fy this space. That's what we've done. Now, you won't even believe that this setup we are running today, it's not running on Land's End's paid high-speed Wi-Fi. It's actually running on a Jio 5G SIM hotspot, which is Arnav's hotspot, on the basement. So we're already there. There are 100 million plus people who have upgraded to 5G. India is clocking more numbers of active users than Europe as a market. So you're already seeing in terms of the speeds going up, and even the guys who are on 4G network in rural India, with this infrastructure getting upgraded, they will get to see better speeds. And the tech stack like this is going to take a leapfrog. So all the tech stack which are there as part of our R&D lab in some corners, which are not able to scale, are going to get live with speeds of 5G. And that is with us now. Now, I also had a kid in the room, and I had a very interesting use case, but I think she left. She was doing her homework. I think she left. Okay, and there's someone on the call as well. Okay, super. All right, are we set, guys? Are we set? Is this the spot? All right, are you excited for this? All right, that's the setup which we have coded. This LED almost looks like an LCD, but trust me, it's an LED. So, and this is loaded with 5G speeds. It's at an XR setup, which we have coded. And very soon, we have created 3 environments. And very soon, we will show you those 3 environments. And we will get you guys into our XR setup through a simple QR code scan. We will flash a QR code. You guys are going to click on it, invoke your camera. You're going to be on the screen, and we can have a chat from here as well. So one of my guys would do that. But let's just load the first experience, which is me getting ported into a cloud setup. And I can see the timer here. Ideally, I should have seen myself here, but anyways. Am I here? Oh, yes. That's me. You see that? And that's the speed which is fluctuating. Right? So it's rendering a 3D render of me. Get that picture, that's super critical, and I'll remove the pixelation out there. Okay, so this is a setup which I use. Initially, we used to use it to run a lot of these storytelling, creative presentations. And once I put on my eyewear, and whatever I say, supposing if I'm running a presentation to Mondelez CMO, hypothetically, and if I'm talking about the bubble variant. So when I wear it and I say, Mondelez launches the new bubble variant, and the voice command goes to my eyewear and it flashes bubble on the screen there. So whoever is logging in from Zoom, from Teams, is getting to see this effect now. That too in complete 3D, which is voice controlled. So no more presentations. You are into a virtual world. You are like a virtual avatar in this space, and you're using your voice to control the setup, right? Now I will move from this setup to a different presentation setup. So let's do that. Rama, let's just flip to another environment. See, I'm moving, right? Now I'm here, which is my 5G and XR setup. Is my position okay? Yeah, my team's happy, so it's okay. Yeah. So now I moved in here, right? So now the screen which you see in the background can be a running video, can be an image, can be you guys popping in here. So now imagine this use case. For example, and I mentioned about XR, 5G and rural and thin client, which is even if you don't have internet speeds, can I get you onto this platform? The answer is a big yes, right? Imagine now farmers, and we do a lot of campaigns for Punjab government where we talk to Punjab government is running an initiative where Punjab agriculture expert, they pop in, and there are farmers in Punjab who pop in, and they are all discussing about Happy Seeder program. फसल कैसे जलाएं कि neighboring markets में pollution ना हो? अभी तो हो रहा है, but I'm saying that's the conversation we run using an audio dialogue platform. We call it M-Samvad. Can this get upgraded to this platform? And answer is a big yes. And see what we can do. Magical on this platform is, I move in here, I'm on this setup, I'm talking in English right now, but farmers logging in from Punjab will get to hear me in Punjabi. Farmers logging in from Karnataka will get to hear me in Kannada. That's what makes this like absolutely special, right? Because they're getting that language connect, nuances, and I can change this frame. From this frame, I can port myself into any environment. And what you see right now is a 3D me. So I'm standing, but I can move around, I can come, and there's a range which I have to follow. This again, the LED which looks like LCD, And Arnav tells me, like, come ahead. But there's so much can be done with this particular setup. Globally, brands are using this for rehab as well. So this currently, the device is rendering my body type, right? So if people who are undergoing rehab can launch this and they can do the workout, it makes it like a funny workout. And globally, a lot of brands are also putting in a lot of money, like Nike and Adidas, a lot of use cases of how this entire system is being used by people for various use cases, right? In India, we did a very unique use case with Lufthansa where we created world's first teleportation cafe. So let's just play that AV, which will give you a sense in terms of how an Indian advertiser had used this setup, and then we talk about more use cases. Yeah? Excited?
Parla più piano e vieni più vicino a me. Voglio sentire gli occhi tuoi dentro di me. Nessuno sa la verità, neppure il cielo che ci guarda da lassù. Parla più piano e nessuno sentirà. Il nostro amore lo viviamo io e te. Nessuno sa la verità. E un altro amore mai più grande esisterà. Insieme a te io resterò. Amore mio, sempre così. Parla più piano, vieni più vicino a me. Voglio sentire gli occhi tuoi dentro di me. Nessuno sa la verità. E un altro amore mai più grande esisterà. No.
I absolutely love going to Italy. I love Milan, love Naples, love Amalfi. They've really gotten to show us places like the Colosseum, the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, I've loved the experience.
Altogether, it was a great experience.
We totally felt transported to our favorite cities in Europe because of that.
And thanks to Lufthansa, I'm able to have that experience right here.
All thanks to Lufthansa. For these couple of hours at a cafe, I was able to teleport myself to Paris and Italy and the Alps.
Thank you so much, Lufthansa, for making it happen. I absolutely enjoyed.
Yeah, so world's first teleportation cafe. When people moved into this cafe, we got the leading influencers, travel bloggers, the who's who of the industry. They all moved in, they were posing and they were sharing the images or an experience with their fans. Now guess what? They could have also connected with those fans using this setup that I'm calling it from Paris, whatever. And they could have used those reaction filters which I told you, which is phase 2. Possibly that can also be done. So let's just watch another AV with low audio, which is this noise pollution compliance of IMAI, which is Coca-Cola. It's a global use case of gamification. Let's watch this. Keep the volume low. No one talks, otherwise you won't be able to hear anything. All right, super. So gamification, multiple stuff you can do using this absolute piece of hardware. Let me now invite my friends Nupur from Viacom and Sonam from Kellanova. And let's have a quick chat on how these ace marketers, what they think about this technology. And yes, later we would also move to the third environment and we will invite one of you guys to be part of that space. For all you know, it can be both of you, right? So yeah, let's just shut this. Let's just turn this off. Okay, Sonam is right here. And you guys can be here, like feel free. This is my setup. All right, turn it off. You guys want to sit or like should we just chat? Like, what do you think?
I thought we were going to stand in the skies and talk.
You want to do that? Okay, let's keep the setup on. Let's keep the setup on. The ladies, they want the setup to be on. And let's go on the skies. Let's go on the skies. Okay, so you guys come here. Let me, you guys come here and let me ask you questions and let me move out of the frame. Okay, both of you stand there.
This is like a kid moment.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
like, I literally want to see myself back there.
That's why I was wanting that kid to be here, but she I think
the right
stepped out.
place?
It's school time.
Oh,
This is maximum. So whoever is answering my question can be part of the crowd. And Nupur, I mean, you can try, but it's currently this, LED looking like an LCD won't allow you to do that. All right, super. So we'll start with you, Sonam. You've been following our experiential 5G sessions. This is the sixth one, as you are aware. So which one of these 6 sessions was your personal favorite, where you can connect back and say, oh my God, this is something I can deploy for my brands out there?
so Niraj, currently you're talking to a 6-year-old who is thrilled to see herself on the screen. So if I may say, this is my favorite session. I don't care about right now what has to be done, what needs to be done, my entire job list of the day. Right now, I'm just thrilled to be seeing my avatar on the screen. I think that for me is the best part of the day. And therefore, this becomes my favorite session. Just to tell you, right now I'm actually wondering, can I be a part of an Avengers movie, or probably could I see myself as a part of the World Cup final for that matter? Is that something that can happen with this technology?
Absolutely. I think in my last session, we spoke about a technology called hyper reality. So all the while, we saw millions of people, they were wearing those $12 headgears, putting their phones inside it and watching cricket in an immersive way right now, right? You must have followed that, right? Now with hyper reality, you can go and stand next to Virat and see how the cricket looks like. Or somebody is taking a catch, you can go and stand next to him and see how the ball is coming to him. It gives you the power to do that. So that's hyper reality, which is coming up next, one of my next sessions.
You know, this has just got so many thoughts racing right now. I just want the audience to close your eyes for about 5 seconds and imagine the best breakfast that you're eating. The best breakfast that you could have.
Close your eyes, no one's going to steal anything.
Close your eyes for 5 seconds and imagine doing that.
100,000 people are doing it right now.
5 seconds, you're having the best breakfast of your life. Now, Niraj, now that we've captured the memory of those best 5 seconds, that is the time that I have with a kid every morning when he or she has his bowl of breakfast.
Yeah.
During those 5 minutes that they have before they go to their school, I want to take them to a fantasy world because he or she knows his rest of the day is going to be tiresome, there's going to be school, there's going to be homework, there's going to be teachers. And imagine those 5 minutes taking him away to this fantasy world where there are cartoons, where there are Avengers, where there are superheroes. And this is the kind of technology that will actually help him achieve that fantasy world, even if it is for the next 5 minutes that he has. And that's where I see my brand fitting in.
Absolutely. Super. So what are your views on 5G and why, like how a brand like yours would leverage 5G speeds, which would come to consumers? And a lot of our kids, as we know, they are already, living on these Web3 platforms. Like our kids are pretty much getting raised on platforms like Roblox, right? Where they create avatars, they move in. If you ask them today, do you need a chocolate or Robux? They might end up saying Robux because they can create their avatars, they can look cool out there. So what are your views? Like with 5G coming in, these platforms and technologies taking a leapfrog and you yourself being part of this immersive setup, how would your brand leverage it in the 5G era?
I think right now we are bursting with energy to talk about 5G. 5G XR is the what that we have to achieve, and I think 5G is the how. And that's where the importance of having this crutch of 5G comes into the picture. I think right now we have surpassed Europe, is the latest stats that tell us.
Yeah.
And going forward, I think by 2028, we're going to be touching some 700 million consumers. So that's the kind of strength that we're going to be having. I think one of the surveys that I read, out of every 10 people, 7 people wanted to upgrade themselves to 5G if given a chance. Right now, thanks to only Jio and Airtel, but with other players also coming soon, this number is just going to escalate. So I think it's going to be a brilliant opportunity, not just for the new generation that's growing up, but if I may put it in this way, even the senior citizens now are getting themselves educated. So it's this varied range of age that we say who's now latching onto internet, who's latching onto the new speeds. And these kind of immersive experiences help them take themselves to a different world, which they would have not imagined. And trust me, my hands are literally shaking right now to see myself on the screen.
It's shaking there as well.
You were not supposed to see that. But this is exactly the kind of thrill that I would want my consumers to experience. I mean, imagine being a part of a hyper reality loop where you are part of action, you're part of content, you are fighting along with superheroes. That is exactly the kind of fantasy world that I would want my brand to be seen with my consumers. A partner who takes them to a world that they would have not been able to go.
Absolutely. So Nupur, over to you. Why don't you join the cloud setup? And maybe Sonam can step back. Okay, perfect.
Looks good.
Ideally, we would have done it all three of us together, but
At the end of it.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, the same question. Like, which one of these experiential sessions which we have hosted, which one is your favorite, and what do you think how your brand can resonate with that, and if you could think of a use case around it?
So the brand resonating part I'm going to take a little later because I'm going to just complement and add on to what Sonam actually said. However, the way I've been following the technology sessions that Niraj and his team have been driving, I think the last MMA session, the one which was with Dr. Sarita Elawat, the drone technology, how you make
The drone lady of India. If you saw the ICC World Cup and you saw that India flashing, those were like Swarm apps and drone show, which Dr. Sarita and team did it at Boat Labs. She was my first guest in that Marketing in the 5G Era series, and we were talking about how with low latency, drones can be used to not just create a drone light show, but some mesmerizing use case in terms of product delivery with Swiggy and stuff like that. So yeah, that was your favorite.
The fact that Arnav, when we were talking about the traffic city Bangalore, the kind of traffic that we have and how Swiggy is managing deliveries over there, I wonder what went there.
And I think in Bangalore, Swiggy delivered.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Traffic city, you said, right? So Bangalore, it delivered, So the way we are fueling the economy or the conversations, I think a lot of us actually in this room, we wonder till where does it reach? We were laughing at 3G, we were laughing at 4G, but then how do you make it bigger, larger than life, and make localized experiences for actually the consumers, the population? So I think that's a great space, Niraj, that you're contributing to, your thought process, your thought leadership, WPP and everybody, IMI of course. I think that's something which is great work happening over there. If I were to wear a brand hat or the monetization hat, which I actually wear, and when Sonam was talking about how you visualize a setup where you teleport the kid into the fantasy world. F is something they live in. F, family, fun, fantasy, friends. That's a world that they live in, and you can actually teleport the kid over there with perhaps the superheroes she mentioned. We've recently launched something called Alien. Abhimanyu Ki Alien Family. And for kids, they are the superheroes. And imagine the same setup over here. So what I'm talking about is the innovative solution funneling. While you will have to continue have your other media for reach and for amplification, however, innovation starts here. And you can reach out to perhaps your last mile, whoever your consumer is, and identify different heroes at that time, or it's the blue sky literally. I think that's something which really makes a lot of difference.
So like Nupur mentioned now, visualize if it's Kidzania and we put up this setup out there, and Viacom has got this animated series.
Yeah.
Most of the content is now getting coded on top of Unreal Engine, which is Epic Games gaming engine. And this setup which you're seeing is coded on top of it. So if you create an XR space in Kidzania or Bounce and all these chains, then kids can be part of that storytelling if they enter that space. Imagine an animated series running and the kid has to just walk in. We are not asking the kid to wear a computer on his head. No headgear is needed. Or senior citizens. You saw Lufthansa, that senior citizen came and he was also experiencing it. Be part of it. If you expect a senior citizen to wear a headgear, you might go like nausea kicks in, right? So here, consumer just needs to walk into the experience. There's no hardware dependency in any form. So the moment marketing, as you call it, right? Exactly. They can be part of that experience.
So a storytelling and your emotional connect along with it. I mean, what more innovation can you actually ask for a connect to your consumer? I think it's brilliant, Niraj. I think that's the way to do it.
And let's just move on to the last frame and get one of you part of our XR setup. Now, use case which you need to visualize. Imagine, just go back, think about that farmer use case which I spoke about. And if I were to get one of the farmers live on my XR setup with the Punjab executive expert, both of them, they come in on the same frame and there's a Q&A which is running. So maybe we can get Arnav to pop in here. Arnav, he will just click on a link, maybe a simple QR code scan, click on a link. He will just switch on his camera. So he's going to be part of this setup with Nupur, you can already see. And they can have a chat, a seamless chat. You got to be there. So you are the lead host, for example. And audience from all across India would join in through a simple link. For all you know, it will be a Zoom call link. Click, join, invoke your camera. You are part of the XR setup along with your expert and you can have a Q&A going. So let's see. Again, this needs speed. All of this is running on a hotspot. That's the beauty. Now, and that's why. That's Arnav. Arnav, can you just start walking, maybe go out and then you can talk as well. If that
You'll
allows.
actually using a live.
Okay, he's right there, right behind you.
Yeah.
He's right behind you. Now imagine this guy is sitting somewhere in Bihar and he must have logged in for his query कि मैं फसल कैसे जलाऊं. You know, and we have an expert who will teach them.
This is what we can do in a room over here. Imagine what else can happen.
And if what she's wearing, if this was an eyewear, like a smart eyewear, all what she would have said, that would have gone back to the audience there. Or that would have created an augmented reality overlay on top of this content, which you are seeing right now. So all these rocks and all, we can have bubbles floating in. We can do mind-blowing brand storytelling or conveying a particular, what do you call, functionality of a product. Imagine you talking to farmers and talking about tractors. Imagine you are Dell and you're talking to youth and talking about laptop functionalities, features, gaming, blah, blah. Sky is the limit. It can be any brand. And you can have like completely immersive XR storytelling out there.
So it's not just aspirational.
So he went out,
it's more
ran
educational
out of
also.
internet, it looks like. So he's frozen. Arnav, can you come back?
Yeah,
okay, he's right there. Okay. So now the point is, Arnav doesn't need much internet. It's thin client at his end. So even if he joins in with a very limited internet, it works. But then this setup has to be on high internet, the platform, which is not the case today. It's on a hotspot. If this was on high internet, then anyone could have joined in. Almost like a classic pixel streaming. When we were evangelizing virtual worlds and we were saying there are millions of people who are attending a Travis Scott concert, right? India was struggling with numbers. You never saw a virtual world experience like me and Nupur. We did a campaign for Perfetti where we hosted a kids award show on a virtual world. We again had limited audiences out there. One of the reasons is the bandwidth for you to enter an immersive world, create your avatar, move around. So with pixel streaming or platforms which offer thin client on the client side, which is the consumer side, they could enter seamlessly, even if the bandwidth is an issue.
So actually, so there was Perfetti and Alpenliebe brand actually came in on board, and we had hosted Nickelodeon Kids Choice in the metaverse where
Now
Perfetti
Nupur, just turn
partnered with
around, watch him.
us.
Ask him a question.
Ask Arnav a question.
Yeah, he's right there. He's your audience.
Arnav, where are you?
He's a Viacom consumer who's won a contest. He's waving, hey, you have to wave at him there. You're in the virtual world.
You're gonna get you're gonna be a contest
Can you
winner,
say something?
right? Yeah, Arnav, you have to talk actually.
No, can you say something? Can you unmute him? Our audience has joined us. But I can hear you from here. All right, perfect. So stay there. You got the point, right?
You ask a question now.
Yeah, we can. From here we can. Ask a question. Yes.
I think the question is how Viacom is already.
See, we can hear it actually from the speakers, by the way.
Oh yes, yeah, ask.
Guys, this is a live demo check which is happening.
Noise pollution proof speakers at IMAI, guys. It doesn't get it. There's an event, it has to be IMAI. She's so happy. All right, go for it.
Yeah. So I think we are already in an immersive session, right? So just wanted to kind of understand what kind of campaigns you've already done in the immersive space at Viacom.
So the one which I was just talking about with Perfetti. In fact, thanks to Niraj, that's something which new technology that he wanted to experiment with. And we had Perfetti Alpenliebe who wanted to again be a part of something new which is happening. And we had Nickelodeon Kid Choice Award, which we were kind of telecasting. We were actually launching it on Metaverse. And I think that was a great experience. I mean, kids could come, don their own avatar, and you can actually see various versions of the confectionery which is there. And they could kind of play games with it. It's really immersive and of course engaging. Interactivity was huge. That's worked really well for us.
Perfect. So now we've got so many people in the room. And if you have a question, we would love to take them. If you have a question from Sonam, Nupur, me. If you have a question, we would love to take them. And there are 50 people who are raising their hands right now. But we'll only take one question, and that's from India's biggest influencer on LinkedIn. Vishal, come on, go for it. Can you please pass on the mic, please?
Just as a brand person or an advertising person as well, these things are extremely engaging. These things are extreme fun, all of that as well, right? Typically, when Nike does it, and so many examples, we saw Lufthansa, Coke, and so many more as well. The question I'm asking to Sonam or even as WPP or whatever as well, how do you benchmark success parameter? Is it more from the overall halo effect or the whole experience? Or do you get trivial, crazy questions again saying, iska bhi ROI dikhao?
Never. It's an experience, but this particular setup has an exception. If you go back in China in my last session, which I think you were part of, which is live commerce with XR, and Kenneth spoke about very clearly that how in China they are loading up AI-powered virtual humans onto live commerce platforms which are more immersive. And these digital humans, they never get tired. 24 hours, 365 days, they keep going on. Every time you tune in, they'll be there to answer your questions. You can just click on the platform and transact. So slowly we are moving on to that space. And in this world of Web3 and 5G, where audience is taking control, and the conversations are moving from more personalized to personal, you will definitely have AI brand mascots of these brands who will move into these spaces.
The question I'm asking is, as a brand, from, say, for example, your overall marketing budget, do you, for example, have a experiential budget or a exploratory budget or whatever you can to sort of say, hey, I'll do this as a tick off, or for the, just because your heart tells you, I want to do this?
A lot of my large clients have got a test and learn budget, which is what I toil with. So no PNL, only TNL. And it works well for us. But over to you. Yeah, maybe you can.
I think I'll take this question. And this comes from my past tenure at Mahindra as well. Answering your question, whether you should be looking at experiences or whether you should be looking at ROI. I think it depends on what kind of a launch is it, or is it what kind of a product it is, and at what stage of the funnel are you at. So this is exactly the kind of questions, because ROI, end of the day, will always be asked. Whatever kind of project it is, whatever kind of budget that you're spending, end of the day, everybody wants to see a result. But I think we have to appreciate the fact that these are experiences, and this is something that's going to thrill your audience. The kind of emotional connect that you have when you've got such immersive experiences is going to build a lot of equity with your customers. And I think that is something that you will not be able to equate in terms of a sale or in terms of money. So to answer that question, there are certain things that will have to have a very strict ROI, but I think these kind of experiences are going to build an emotional connect, which is going to stay much longer with your customers.
ROE, yes.
Okay, ladies, look behind. That's magic. Woo! Experience. I would say experience. All right, super. Thank you so much, guys. Lovely audience. So many people. Bhavna, over to you. Thank you so much, panelists.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Niraj.
much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big, big round of applause. What a spectacular presentation this has been. And Niraj always brings in so much innovation in all the constraints possible. Niraj, I'd really like to appreciate you on that. Meanwhile, maybe request you three to please step forward. Let's get you all together in a group and get a photograph in place. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big, big round of applause for all the three of them. They've been so kind with their time and for contributing on this forum. Thank you once again. Meanwhile, may we request the team to kindly join us. And Niraj, there's a small token of appreciation, of course, for Sonam and Nupur as well. Thank you so much, Sonam. Thank you so much, Nupur. And thank you so much, Niraj.
Thank you guys. Thank you.